stage veteran and an actor who's getting high scores for his dancing skills this season on Dancing with the Stars. Please welcome J.R. Martinez! My friend.
Woo! I'm on The Tonight Show.
You're on The Tonight Show.
I am on The Tonight Show. This is cool.
Well, you got a great story. Tell people your story. When did you join the Army?
I joined the Army September 2002. It was right after high school.
Okay.
And, you know, there were several reasons for me joining. One was I felt it would be an opportunity for me to be independent, to travel the world, go to college at the same time. You know, 9/11 happened the year before.
Right.
And it would be a way for me to contribute and give back to the country. And, of course, my mother was kind of mixed feelings about it, but I was passionate about my decision, and she supported me. And, you know, everything happened relatively fast for me. I joined in September, basic training until December, then January I was in my unit.
Well, here's your picture when you joined. There you are right there.
Yeah.
Now, tell people about what happened.
Well, January 2003, I was assigned to my unit, which is the 101st out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And in March of 2003, I deployed to Iraq at 19 years old. And, you know, there's no way you can actually prepare for war. You know, no video game, nothing out there on the market can really prepare you for that. And so I was still kind of taking everything in. But on April 5th of 2003, I was driving a Humvee through a city called Karbala with 3 other soldiers when my front left tire went over a landmine. I was trapped inside the truck, and you know, from the actual explosion, it detonated everything we had inside the vehicle, which we were carrying ammo, our personal gear, fuel. Because when you left the camp, you took everything because you never knew if you were going to come back. And I was pinned inside the vehicle, and I couldn't get out on my own. And 19 years old, you know, Jay, it's I thought my life was going to end, you know, and I can see my hands. I actually see my hands changing in a way that I knew that it wasn't Halloween, and I knew that the following day I wouldn't be able to wake up and brush this off and my hands would go back to being normal, and feeling the excruciating pain of everything. And it just felt like I was trapped inside that truck for a lifetime. And
you were conscious this whole time?
I was conscious. I mean, I have a lot of friends who've been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we always kind of compare stories and talk about it. And the difference about me is that the impact happened, I was conscious, and I remember every single thing, versus them, it was the explosion, and they remember waking up in the hospital.
So how long was the recovery?
It was 2.5 years.
Wow.
2.5 years. 33 surgeries, and it was tough. I mean, like I said, 19 years old, coming out of a coma and seeing your body for the first time, and thinking to myself, how am I ever going to get a beautiful girl?
Right.
Oh, you know, tried. And, you know, just thinking, how am I going to integrate? How am I going to be able to go to one day to the supermarket and just pick up something basic without having a kid look at me and be scared and cry and run away, or people staring, or people saying, you know, because we live in a world where it's based on your looks. And it was tough, you know, but, you know, I just kind of made a decision early on in my recovery that I was going to stay positive and try to find ways to kind of use humor and get through this process. And one day, the answer would come to that big question: why did this happen to me?
Well, you lost an ear. It has impacted your hearing. Can you hear?
What's that?
I'm saying.
I tried.
Hey, hey!
And I got a little drum there. I got a little
drum.
I got some what now, Jay? No, you know, I mess with people all the time.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned is that humor has been like a big thing to kind of, because a lot of people aren't accustomed to seeing somebody that's disfigured.
Right.
So in order for them to be comfortable with looking at me and talking to me, I figure use humor. And, you know, I remember it was horrible. I was hanging out with some friends, you know, probably a few months after I got out of the hospital, and we were at the mall and trying to be, you know, 19 years old and just hang out and do the normal thing and walk around the mall when, you know, you can't buy anything, but just still, you know, walk around. And I said to my friends, like, watch this, I'm going to do something. And they were like, oh, what are you going to do, JR? You're like, you're always joking around. And I was like, watch this. So I actually went into a place where you get your ears pierced. And I actually told the young girl, she was standing on my good side. Right. And I said to her, I want to get my left ear pierced. And she was like, okay, cool, no problem. I'll set everything up, go sit in the chair. And I sat down in the chair. Right. And she came up, and she was kind of getting everything prepared. And, you know, she didn't realize the small talk. And she came over to this side, and she literally got close to my, you know, got here. And she pretty much said, but you don't have an ear. And instead of leaving it there, I said, what do you mean? When I came in here, I had one. So, you know. Wherever you are, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get another joke. There we go. So
I mean, so you must get recognized now. Fans recognize you all the time. That's got to be cool.
it is cool. It is cool. I mean, it's really cool to kind of go from this point where, you know, you're in a hospital bed and you
Right.
feel like you're alone in this world, and all of a sudden people recognize you
Right.
overnight, it seems like. You know, and it got to the point where, you know, I was in New York one time, and I was hanging out with this guy, and I was kind of showing him around New York, all the touristy things, and I took him to the Empire State Building, and one of the people, you know, watch all my children, the workers, and she says, oh, you got to come to the front of the line, you know, come in first class treatment, and I'm kind of like, oh, this is cool. The guy that I'm with is probably thinking he's hanging out with the big shot, and they put us to the front of the line, and everybody starts, you know, when one person starts something, it's everyone gets behind the movement, and everyone's like, oh, let's take pictures, and all of a sudden this kid standing to my left, he looks up at me. He says, "Are you Seal?" Hey, I'm on my toes, but he caught me flat-footed on that one.
Yes.
And so needless to say, when people say, you know, JR, we believe that one day there'll be a movie about your life, and who would play you? Well, Seal, of course.
yeah.
I mean, why not? It makes sense.
So tell me about Dancing with the Stars. Did you dance before this?
No, not at all.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, let's see. Here you are. You're pretty good. Take a look. You're very good. Take a look.
Do some jiving right now.
I was gonna say.
You know, I've obviously there's some. I'm calling myself Brown Swan. I just think
Brown
it's only,
Swan.
Brown Swan.
Yeah,
I think it's only appropriate.
Yeah.
So you know, it's been fun. It's been you know the only dancing experience I have is you know being raised by a single mother and you know not having any other siblings around. You know, when my mother wanted to dance around the house, whether she was cleaning or something, and guess who was dragged into dancing?
Yeah, well, it seems to have paid off, huh?
Yeah, and I was a kid, and I'm like, Mom, stop! Like, I don't want to dance. Like, stop.
She got to get a kick out of it now.
Oh, she's enjoying it. She's
Yeah.
having the time of her life. You know, just watch me and saying, see, everything I taught you paid off.
Well, see, well, we're enjoying it too, man. You're a great inspiration.
Oh, thank you,
And
Jay.
good luck,
Thank
my
you
friend.
so much. Thank
Dancing
you.
with the Stars,
Thank you.
J.R. Martinez. Be right back with Fountains of Wayne right after this.